And as you get older, my dumb dog. Come here. All the way up here. I want to see your face. Hi everybody, and thank you so much for coming back to the channel and clicking on this video. My name is Amanda, and as you can see, and probably saw by the title of this video, that I'm old. I'm a grown woman. I'm over 40. And for some of you that may seem like ancient, because honestly, if I look back in my life, to believe that I'm 40 years old, it's actually kind of hard for myself to even understand that, because it just, I don't know, it creeps up on you is what I'm saying. One thing that I've noticed is when you are younger, especially when you're a child, when you are a young adult, and also when you are a young parent, you oftentimes receive lots of advice about how to handle, the current situation that you're in. But one thing that I've noticed is that now that I'm 40, it just kind of seems like all of that advice has kind of ended. I don't know if I'm supposed to have this all figured out by now. I do not. And I open myself to any advice anyone has to offer me out there, please. Especially if you are in your 50s or in your 60s. I would really value any kind of advice that you have to offer me. Because I'm really not sure if I'm doing this correct. So I'm not really sure if I'm adulting right. So what I've done is I've compiled a list, 40 different things, 40 different pieces of advice that I have for you, based upon the fact that I'm 40. I have lived about halfway through my life. I've accumulated a lot of knowledge, a lot of things, and regrets as well, but these are some different things that I have noted down that I want to share with you. These are 40 pieces of advice for people that are turning 40 or that are coming up on their 40s. Okay, first piece of advice, or the first thing I'm going to mention, is, again, you don't get advice. There's no more advice offered to you. I haven't really had any advice since my children were babies. So once you kind of move into the teenagehood, I'm not sure if kids are just different, but there's really not a lot of advice out there. The second thing is you are going to have lots of doctor's appointments, and I really want to encourage you to go to your doctor's appointments. It's really hard when you get in the middle of life and you've got children, you've got school, and appointments, but you need to take care of yourself. And you need to go to your own doctor's appointments. It's very important. Along with that, you may be diagnosed with some different medical conditions. That's the third thing on the list. As you get older, you're going to these appointments. You may find out you've got high blood pressure, things like that. Most likely, the fourth thing, you're going to be put on medication. That's one thing that is just very strange when you get to the point where you have to take actual medication every day. Body aches. Get ready for some body aches. You'll find that your back, you can sleep funny and your back will hurt for 3 days. You can try to run a mile with your kids' PE class, and then your knee will ache for a couple of days, or the arches of your feet will just be really in pain. And I'm not sure what that's all about, but another thing is you'll constantly have Tylenol with you. You'll have it in your car. If you're a woman, you'll have it in your purse. You'll have it in your desk at work. You just kind of keep Tylenol with you at all times. Another thing is you start using night cream. So if you're around 40 years old, you do need to look into a night cream, a lotion. Another thing is body lotion. Your skin kind of changes once you get a little bit older. So I guarantee you're going to start using lotion on your legs. Another really important thing is that once you get a little bit older, you will brush your teeth regularly. This is something that when I was younger, I would forget, or I just, when I was really young, I didn't want to brush my teeth. strangely enough. But you will find yourself as an adult brushing more regularly. And also, if you've had children, if you're a woman, my experience is my teeth have gone completely to crap. I never really had cavities growing up, pretty good teeth, but now I'm not sure if it's hormones or what it is, but my teeth have just weakened. I had to go to the dentist and I had to have a root canal. I've never had one before. And this has been, I'm a 4-step process and I'm only 3 steps of the way through. It has been uncomfortable and it makes me mad at myself because I'm an adult and I never should have let it get to the point that I needed a root canal. I should have gone. It had been a few years that I hadn't gone to the dentist before COVID, and then when COVID happened, I didn't go. So it literally been about 5 years since I've been to the dentist, and had I gone any time in between there, chances are they would have caught it as a cavity, they could have filled it, and I could have saved myself a lot of money and a lot of pain and a lot of my time just having to go to all these different appointments to get this dang tooth taken care of. Sorry, a little bit of a tangent there. Another thing is your hair is going to get gray. Your hair might also thin. A lot of times men and women kind of experience loss of hair. With that loss of hair on your head, you're going to notice new hair growing other places. Fun. The hair on your arms might become a little bit darker. You might get some hairs on your chin. It's incredible. It's a journey. Another thing is you will probably end up letting go some of your friends. You'll let go some friends that don't match up with how you want to live your life and how you see your future. You'll let go of some of your behaviors, some things that may not match up with where you want to be and who you want to be. And once you get older, you kind of learn to get beyond that. You learn to push that stuff aside. Number 16 is you'll probably think about death. That's one thing that I never really thought about until this chapter of life. And I'm telling you, it haunts me. Maybe it's just me and my mental illness here, but I think about death and it's frightening. I think about those that I'll leave behind, I worry about leaving people behind. And because of that, number 17, you're going to take better care of yourself. So that fear that I have, that fear of death, that's why I'm getting rid of these behaviors. That's why I'm not going to just live completely erratically. I want to have a purpose. I want to take care of myself so that I can be there for the people that I love. So with that, you'll take better care of yourself. You'll also exercise more. You'll probably eat better. You'll focus on your longevity and not your weight or your size. So again, I don't care what I weigh. I don't care. I mean, I do somewhat care about how I look. I want to look presentable. I want to look clean and nice, but I don't care about the size of pants I'm wearing. What I care about is the years that I have left on this earth. I want to be here for as long as I possibly can. So, number 21 is as you get older, you really grow to appreciate your parents. The next one is you'll watch them grow old, which is hard. You will watch your parents grow old, which is one of the most bittersweet things. Maybe it's just bitter. You may lose a parent. You may lose a friend from high school. There are lots of people that that I have known that I never would have thought, people that are far younger than me, that have lost their lives from not even, from medical conditions, some from drugs, but, I think just as many just from undiagnosed medical conditions. You're still going to listen to the music that you listened to in high school. In fact, when you listen to that music, it kind of transports you to another time. you will enjoy nostalgia. You will really regret opening up those Barbie dolls or those Pokemon cards. You'll really regret not keeping those in the original packaging. You will understand that this whole fairy tale childhood is not exactly what it was built up to be. Again, we were all, well, I don't know if we all were, but I was raised, with Disney princesses and happily ever after and all that. And it really does kind of skew your perception. When I was a kid, I wanted to have a mansion. I wanted to have a library like Belle and Beauty and the Beast. But then as I got older, I just wanted a home. I just wanted a spot. I wanted a place for my family. That was what was important for me. So in some ways, you will lower your standards. Like as far as that, that wanting to have a mansion, wanting to have, property and horses and all that. In some ways, your standards will be lowered, but in other ways, you will raise your standards. There are things like the foods that you eat, the content that you watch, things like that. You may just decide, I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to watch that anymore. And there are so many times where I try to go back and watch a show that I used to really like, when I was in my 20s. And now I watch it and I'm just like, I don't know. It's almost like you change as a person. You do change. And sometimes you look back on some of the things, some nostalgia is awesome and it's, you love it. But then sometimes you look back on it and it's like, ooh, that's kind of, I don't know. It's just not anything that I enjoy anymore. 31 on my list of 40 pieces of advice that you should know before you turn 40. Number 31 is you will discover who you are. I don't know how to explain that. It just really, like, at some point in this chapter of my life, I've really kind of figured out who I am and what my purpose is here. Okay, so number 32, you will love yourself fully. This is something that I have finally discovered, I finally stepped into, and I can't wait for the whole rest of the world. I mean, the only good thing about growing up, it's like your body's gonna get old and you're gonna feel older and you're gonna like have less energy. But the only thing that's good about growing up is the love that you have for yourself. You accept yourself. You realize that you're human, but you also realize your amazing potential. Number 33, there are going to be regrets. That's normal. That's natural to look back on your life and to think of some things that maybe you're not so proud of. But there's nothing that you can do about that. It's just kind of lessons that we learn, through life. Number 34 is that you revel in the memories of your youth, and you really do. Oftentimes, I think back about different things that I did when I was a kid. I tell my kids about them if it's appropriate, and it's fun to kind of relive and rethink about all the antics that used to get into when you were a kid. Number 35 is the generation that follows you will be different. I'm not even exactly sure if I'm a millennial or a Gen X. I don't know, but whatever. I just know that each generation that follows, I was born in the 80s, grew up in the 80s. We did not have computers in our homes. We had a Nintendo NES when I was like 5 or 6. That was the big Christmas gift. So that was really the extent of the technology that we had. I was in the generation where we played outside, played on our bikes until the streetlights came on, and then came home for dinner. So that's kind of where I'm coming from. So the next generation, as the world changes, the people are going to change, and it's going to be difficult. It's going to be hard to relate, but it's very important to try to relate to the next generations, because they're the ones that are going to be taking care of us whenever we're old. So number 36 is at times you will be broke, and that's just like straight up true. Like there are times in your adulthood when you pay your bills and you're like, okay, we're going to eat something out of the freezer. I'm going to dig in there and find something because we're not spending a penny of money. And that's okay. I mean, there are times when you really do need to be tight. Number 37 is you'll learn to live more frugally because of that. Money is a fixed item for most people. I don't think anyone's watching this that has just unlimited amounts of money. So money is a fixed object, and it has to be distributed, it has to be thought about. And as you get older, my dumb dog. And a few more items here. We're on 38. You will also learn to be more self-sufficient. What does that mean? That means you go to the grocery store, you're trying to live frugally, you're trying to have a certain amount budgeted for food, and you go and you see, whoa, tater tots are $7 a bag. Well, I'm gonna go buy a $2.99 bag of potatoes and have potatoes instead. So it's all about making these choices. It's all about trying to live frugally, trying to be self-sufficient as well. See that garden back there? That was my attempt at trying to grow tomatoes so that I could make pasta sauce, so I could make salsa, things like that. These moves that we make are important because we're trying to grow. We're trying to grow and hold on to more, have more value. The last two items are number 39 and number 40. And I have written down sad times and happy times. And that's just part of life. You'll find that there are many, many sad times and that there are many happy times. And time continues to march on. I think the important thing is to focus on the good times, focus on the happy times, and process the sad times, and try to identify, with the sad times, try to identify how this might be strengthening you, how this might have led you to a better place. Sometimes if you get fired from a job, it can actually be a blessing. And in the moment you're freaking out, but in the long run, sometimes it can be one of the best things that ever happens to you. So I don't know, that's all I got for you today. 40 things that you should know and think about before you turn 40. If it's your birthday, happy birthday. We're all getting up there. The world keeps spinning and we're all still here. So I don't know. I hope you can love someone today, make someone smile, make it a better place, because we all need some encouragement in this world. So until next time, bye guys.